Eric with One Stop Guitar. Today we're going to talk about muting techniques. There's a lot of different muting techniques, so it's not just muting the strings in like a heavy metal way. There's many techniques you could use just to change the sound of notes and also to help you deaden strings. So let's get to it. Okay, so muting techniques. We're going to start with our right hand, and our right hand is actually really important. Where we're really coming from is the palm on our hand. That's really, really important because the palm is going to touch the strings and it's going to lightly deaden the sound. This is kind of tricky. You can use distortion for this too. Like I said, more metal stuff for this, but you can do it with different type of things, kind of like we did in the beginning of the lesson where I was using a clean tone. So what you want to do is put the palm of your hand on the strings, like so, and you can hear that sound. You might sound like this at first, or you might not even have a mute at all, like that. So it's more of a feel thing, and you're just going to try to have to get used to having the palm on the strings. One of the things that I like to do is I keep my pinky on the guitar, and that way it kind of gives me balance, so I can be more even with my palm muting. So there's my palm mute, and you can hear that. You can still hear the notes. That's really the goal to it. If you can't hear the notes, you're not really doing much, to be honest with you. You want those notes to pop out, but you want to make sure that they're muted. And yet again, it's just that palm down. As you can see that palm on the strings lightly pushing down. It really makes a humongous difference. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about muting with your left hand. So like funk music is. So what we're doing with that is we're lightly taking our fingers off the guitar to get that mute type of sound. Smells Like Teen Spirit's another great example of that. So when you come back down with the chord or the single note that you're doing, you have the single note sound, and then you lift off to get the mute sound. Doesn't matter how many strings you play, obviously when you mute, it's totally up to you. I try to only play a couple. And that it makes a humongous difference on what you're doing. I also will do that with chords. So if there's certain chords that I'm playing where I don't want a string to ring out, I'll have part of like the fat on my fingers touching that string. So if I was playing like, let's say for example, let's say I was playing this, which is a D minor chord, and I'm not barring it, but I don't want that last string to ring out. You can hear it's muted. So it's really muted from this part of my skin on my finger. So if I hit that string on accident, it doesn't matter because it's muted. Same concept for octaves. Okay, so hopefully you know what octaves are. I have a lesson on octaves if you don't, so go back to onestopguitar.com or the Facebook, the YouTube page and find us on there at One Stop Guitar, and you can learn that lesson. But what I do with octaves is I'll lightly take my first finger and touch the string in between that we don't want. That way, if you're playing octaves like a Machine Head by Bush, right, you're muting the string in between because you don't want to have to pick over the string, right? So by taking that first finger and muting it, you can hear it when you mute it. Hear that? But if I play over it, you don't hear it. That's another cool muting technique. There's a lot of them. I mean, these are just basic ones to kind of help you tie in your playing more. One of the other techniques we can do with muting that's really important is using it to kind of mute the other strings. Now, I don't have any distortion on right now. It sounds a lot better with distortion, but let's say, for example, I'm playing the 8th fret on the 2nd string. If you look at my right hand, I'm muting all the other strings except for that string. So when you hear it, you're going to hear just that note. Now I'm going to put on the distortion real quick so you can hear that difference. I'm going to pause for a second, so you don't have to pause it there. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like there'll be a pause,
gotcha.
So you know, right?
So give me a sec.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so I got my distortion on right now, and you'll hear the difference. So if I don't mute, hear all that noise, right? It doesn't sound so good. So what I'll do is I'll take my palm down and I'll mute on all the strings I'm not playing, except for the one I want to play. So for example, if I'm playing the 2nd string, 8th fret, you just hear that note. If I lift off, you hear that? You clear all that excess noise that really doesn't sound good. So there's another example of using muting, not in that type of sound, but more in a controlling the other strings you don't want. Especially with distortion, that's a huge thing. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Share. Man, it helps us out. Share it on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. One Stop Guitar is the keyword. And find us on onestopguitar.com. Thanks a lot for listening to this lesson, and have a great day.